Hey, what's up, everyone? Long time no see on a solo episode of Elbows Type Podcast. So today I want to talk about some things that's been going on in my journey, some things that's been happening around the jiu-jitsu community with CJI, and just kind of like get caught up with everyone. First off, I want to talk about a little bit of what CJI is, right? Craig Jones Invitational. I think it's something great. I had someone ask what my opinion on it was, and I think that any competition is good competition, especially when it comes to the jiu-jitsu space, because I feel like ADCC had such a monopoly on the high-end competition to where it was like the most prestigious thing. Like IBJJF kind of was losing that a little bit in my eyes. And so I think that Craig Jones wanting to bring more light and awareness to people's pay or to athletes' pay, I think is a great thing. I don't see any qualms with him doing it on the same day as ADCC because, I mean, if he wants to make a big impact, he's got to make a big statement. And what bigger statement is to challenge the biggest, our Olympics of grappling in jiu-jitsu by having his event on the same day. Not only that, but I think he's doing so many things different that are amazing in my eyes, right? The alleyway, right? He says there's only two things that you do in the alley. You either fornicate or fight. It's so that I think that's pretty cool. He's drawing that from the combat karate platform, which I think is super cool. I actually really like that. I think it allows people to not run as much as they want to. It makes you have to like really think about what you're going to do and how you're going to be strategically, right? Because there's no fence to push up against. There's no platform to fall off. I never understood that. As someone that watches like a very little fight to win or something like that, I understand that, it makes it easier to have an elevated platform so people can see it. But the the practitioner's safety, I think, kind of gets compromised when you're on an elevated platform. So I think it's kind of cool. He's going to have the combat karate style ring, so. And then, the pay, which is another great thing. He just came out, I think it was like yesterday or something like that, saying that the submission of the night's going to get $50,000. He's throwing a lot of real money out there. Not only that, but he's drawing some big names. Mackenzie Dern and Fionn Davies is now doing the super fight for the women's side of it, which I think is super dope. I think that's going to be so amazing to watch. And I think the thing that Craig Jones is doing even better than most is I think he's making matchups that are going to be really exciting. So if you guys don't know, he's only going to have two divisions, plus 80 kilos and below 80 kilos. So only two divisions, 16-man brackets, one fight at a time, which I think is so cool. Also, it's going to be on YouTube. If you guys don't know, it'll be free on YouTube, which I think is a super smart deal because it's going to show that whether he's drawing the crowd that he thinks that he will, and also whether there is actually the competitive jiu-jitsu audience there. Because I think I've heard like Mo from ADCC talk about how there's not that much streaming on it, or there was something he was talking about that the audience isn't as big as most people think it is, even though they sell out, the T-Mobile Arena in person. And so I'm super excited to see that. I personally will be watching CJI because I don't want to pay for 1 year of Flow Grappling just to watch ADCC. I think that's kind of gimmicky business wise when you look at it. And I'm pretty sure most people agree that they don't want to pay for 1 year of Flow Grappling just to watch ADCC or one or two fight to wins that they actually are excited about. So I think CJI is a great idea. I think it's super good for the sport. I think Craig Jones is doing a lot of cool things that are going to innovate. And honestly, in my eyes, I don't think CJI is going to be around forever. And here's why. I think Craig Jones is using it as a pawn piece to make ADCC move the needle for athletes. And what I mean by that is I think either one or two things are going to happen. Either CJI is going to go on for a couple years and he's going to give ADCC a great run for its money, and then ADCC is going to start making changes in order to bring athletes back to ADCC, or ADCC is going to buy out CJI to bring over the viewership, bring over the model and everything like that. And then Craig Jones is going to get a big payday anyways. I don't think Craig Jones is going to be in this for the long haul. I think Craig Jones is doing it to help the community. I think he's doing it to make people realize that there's more money in it than they say there is, and that we are worth more than $10,000 to win, the most prestigious title in our sport. So I don't think Craig Jones is going to do it forever. I think he's doing it to make ADCC and Mo and all them to be more legitimate with the athletes and to make them realize that, hey, these athletes want to get paid more. They don't all, not all of them care about the prestigious ADCC champion title. They need the money first, and they want the money first, and then with that comes the title and comes all the people. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. I'm excited to see CJI and how big it is. I can't wait to see next year's CJI, or however often he does it, because I think this year they're going to work a lot of bugs out. I think this year there's going to be some issues timing wise and production wise and whatnot, unless he does a lot of dry runs beforehand. And next year, I think, is going to be even a better year for CJI, and I think it's going to draw even a bigger crowd next year. And then also, Craig Jones and Gabby Garcia are going to do a match together, which I think is going to be a lot of fun. I personally think Craig Jones is going to get the better of her, but I think Craig Jones is going to he's going to make it a spectacle. He's going to do a lot of crazy things. He's going to try to draw in as many people as possible. He's going to try to make it as exciting as possible. And but I think ultimately he will come out with the win, unless he does something super stupid and Gabby, just cradles him up and submits him. But I do think that he's gonna win that match. So, and then one thing that also was in the jiu-jitsu news today, it happened a couple days ago on June 15th. A guy, an MMA veteran, ends up killing someone in self-defense, and this isn't necessarily about self-defense and gun violence and if you should shoot someone when they're coming at you with a knife, if you're feeling threatened, especially in a state like California or Arizona, where they have pretty lenient, not lenient, but they're pretty pro gun or self defense in some areas. But what I thought was so funny was the people in the comments on the Instagram post, dude. Like so many people are like, how is this relevant to jiu-jitsu when the guy used a gun to shoot someone that had a knife? And then some people are like, why would you shoot someone with a knife? One guy even said, I should have had it on my phone, but one guy said, hey man, I've been in so many situations where I've had to deal with knife wielding assailants, and I've never once thought about murdering them. And I'm like, well, good for you, dude. Like every scenario is different. Maybe you do have more training. Maybe you're just an Instagram troll that you want to get some interaction with. But in my eyes, like, dude, if you're chasing someone with a knife, the last thing I want to do is get close to that person with a knife, especially if I have, a gun or something like that. Aaron Giannetti does a lot of self-defense and knife concept courses, and I'm sure he would attest to, if you don't have to confront someone that's holding a knife, you should probably run and get to a safer spot like this guy did and ended up getting his gun out of his truck. And I'm going to have the link to the story down below. You guys let me know what you think. Because I think jiu-jitsu is one of the best self-defense martial arts. I talk about this all the time. But if someone has a knife and they are showing lethal intent, you think I'm going to run up to them and try to do my jiu-jitsu techniques? No, dude. I'm going to go and I'm going to try to find a means of stopping this in the quickest way possible with me getting hurt the least. And that may be an unpopular opinion to some of you guys, but I think people have these ideas of what they would do in certain scenarios and what they would do in these situations. And then when it comes time to actually doing it, they would react completely different, or they would completely freeze up. Just because you are trained in so much knife defense or control or whatever doesn't mean everyone else is. And that doesn't mean everyone wants to apply that to their life or death situations, So it's just baffling to me how some people are so quick to be like, this guy was in the wrong. It's like, well, what about the guy that was fighting the homeless man in the ADCC sweater? You guys remember that a couple months ago? And he gets him in like a mounted armbar and breaks the guy's arm. And then he's like, if you watch the security camera footage, he's like cranking it after he breaks it, trying to do more, and then he starts raining elbows down on this guy. Is that too much? Maybe. Was that too much in that situation? Maybe. But once again, if you're feeling threatened, you're gonna go with the most effective way to stop the threat. You know, you're gonna try to do everything you can to make sure that when you leave this person, they're not gonna come after you when you walk away, you know? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down below. How would you guys handle self-defense situations? Are you going straight to I'm trying to stop this as much as possible, or are you gonna try to freaking use your jujitsu in every scenario and stop the person to control them so to preserve life? I don't judge you either way. I'm a nonpartisan person on this, or bipartisan person. I don't know. I see both sides. So, whatever that word is. So, but in other news, real quick, let's talk about the importance of salt and electrolytes for a BJJ practitioner. And that's where today's sponsor, Salt Electrolytes, come in. Save 15% off your purchase at saltelectrolytes.com with code ElbowsTight15 at checkout. Once again, that's 15% off at saltelectrolytes.com with code ElbowsTight15 at checkout, or use the link down below. Now, Salt Electrolytes drink mix is designed for today's warriors, athletes, and those who like to get after it and regularly get sweaty. Whether you're a heavy sweater that we've all seen on Instagram that needs a wet floor sign right next to them whenever they roll, or you're like a normal human being like me who barely sweats at all. With a light, refreshing flavor, Salt is great to drink during your workout because it will not coat your mouth that thick, nasty film that some electrolytes drinks out there do. It has the perfect saltiness that's as easily to make you want to drink more, making rehydration a breeze. And Salt keeps it simple, guys. There's only 6 different electrolytes with a touch of iodine to help maintain a healthy thyroid. There's no sugars, there's no colors, and there's no BS. So go earn your salt, guys and gals. And save 15% off your checkout at saltelectrolytes.com with code ElbowsTight15 at checkout. That's saltelectrolytes.com with code ElbowsTight15 at checkout to save 15% off. Because your electrolyte drink should work just as hard as you do. Thanks, guys. Go check them out. My journey lately, I haven't talked about it much very lately because my life has just been so crazy. And I'm sorry that I haven't had a lot of content come out recently. I recently, probably November, so what's that, 6 months ago, I had to switch my work schedule, or 7 months ago, I had to switch my work schedule and I started working swing shift. And so I watch my kids during the day, and during the day, since I'm watching them, I don't have much time to film stuff. And so having a solo episode like this has been really hard to like sit down and find time to do it. But like even me right now, I'm like battling allergies, and my daughter's been sick for a week, so I haven't really even got to train much. Well, but this last Saturday, we did something super cool. We had our other friends from another academy. The backstory is, if you guys remember, at one point during the pandemic, our old professor left our academy and started his own here in town, and then we had Sean come in and take over the academy. Well, now that our old professor, his academy came over this last Saturday for a big open mat, and we all rolled together and whatnot, and it was so much fun. It reminds me of seeing the big open mat in San Diego at Legion Jiu-Jitsu, Keenan Cornelius's gym. And when you see that open mat, dude, there's like, I don't know, maybe 100 people there on a Saturday. And so I was talking to one of my buddies at work, and he's a black belt, and he was talking about starting an open mat on the weekends, similar to the ones in San Diego at Legion, to where everyone in our area can come and we can all just roll together and train and have a good time. Because I feel like a lot of the times there's a lot of separation between jiu-jitsu academies because, I don't know, maybe competition, maybe people have unnecessary loyalty to only training with people at their academy, or if they're going to roll against someone, they're going to do it at competition. But I think having open mats, like big community opens mats, is such a cool thing, dude. I love rolling with everyone. I love rolling with everyone at everyone's academy, whether you're a spazzy white belt, whether you're a dominating black belt. I just like the community. I always talk about my favorite aspect of jiu-jitsu has been the community, and building this podcast has helped me build a community of my own with the El Bros Facebook group. If you guys want to check that out, link down below, or whether it's the Discord, also link down below. Having a community in the jiu-jitsu community is been super cool. And I love hearing people's success stories. I love hearing people talk about their ups and downs, their failures, their perspective changes, how things have changed in their journey. And you get that too when you go to like a big open mat in jujitsu, right? Because you get to meet new people, you get to talk to them, and you get to maybe even make new friends. So, and then you have a chance to go to other academies and try. And if you don't like competing, once again, I always talk about this. If you don't like competing, the dropping in at other academies is a great way to, get a different variety of people to roll with and whatnot. So that's been something super cool that we did last Saturday, and come to find out that we will be doing it more. So I'm excited about that as well. But I haven't got to like train classes very much. I did go to no-gi class last night with one of our purple belts, Coach Jack and Keegan. That was fun. We did Berimbolo, no-gi Berimbolos, which was so much fun. I'm down. Yesterday I weighed myself. I was at 190, so that's almost 30 pounds down from my heaviest. And dude, I feel like $1,000,000. Tell you the truth. I feel so great rolling. I feel much more nimble. I feel much more energetic. I did on Saturday, I think I maybe skipped like one round rolling with people because everyone had someone. But during that whole week, that whole hour and a half class or open mat, dude, I was like rolling the whole time, feeling great. Yesterday, I had 3 hard rounds back to back to back. And even after that, I still felt really good. I wasn't at any point like super exhausted, like I think I would have been, almost 30 pounds ago. So that was cool. I kind of want to compete now too, now that I'm much lighter, and just see how much better I could do. Because if you guys know, when during my only competition, I gassed out after the second, like at the end of the second round, I was so exhausted. One, probably because of the weight cut, and two, I was way overweight than my body's used to. And so now that I'm feeling like 190-ish, I want to probably get down to 185, maybe maintain at 190, because I feel strong, I feel nimble, I feel quick, and I feel like this is a really good weight for me right now. But I kind of want to compete at this weight and see how I do. The only thing I'm worried about is I'm sure there are some strong athletic dudes at this weight. So, but also I got my 4th stripe on my blue belt. If you guys don't follow me on Instagram or are in the communities, I got my 4th stripe on my blue belt. So I'm almost able to skip warm-ups and only do Berimbolos. What are you guys' favorite like belt stereotypes? Comment them or hit me up on Instagram and let me know what your favorite belt stereotypes are. Like brown belts are always hurting. Black belts are more worried about their academy and business side. Blue belts just quit. Purple belts skip warm-ups and only do fancy techniques. Let me know what you guys your favorite ones are down below. But I do feel like I've been doing much better in my journey recently. And even though I haven't been able to train because my daughter's been so sick, she's doing much better now, by the way, guys. She's on the up and up now. But I do feel like when I'm in class, when I'm rolling with people, I'm giving them a harder time. I'm being more successful. So that's been super cool to experience. And hopefully I'll be a purple belt towards the end of the year. That's my goal. Fingers crossed, purple belt towards the end of the year. I think I'm close. And I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's been a hard road lately for the podcast and everything like that. And I just want to thank you guys for being around and hanging out with me and being here for as much as you have. Having the kids at the academy when I try to roll, I've tried it a couple times, and I'm probably going to make like a White Belt Wednesday or a shorter form video on what I've learned as a parent to train with my kids at the academy, especially with 2 little ones. And it's been hard to take them. A lot of the times I try not to take them with me to jiu-jitsu because they're running on the mats, and that's not necessarily a bad thing because our morning classes aren't super big, but it's distracting to everyone else. Sometimes my daughter just wants to be held, or she's gonna cry, and so I'll sit there in between techniques, holding my daughter, try to keep her entertained while I'm trying to pay attention. Sometimes my kids are just loud and nuisances. And I try to be like the tablet dad just to like make it easier for everyone else at the academy. I'll try to put the tablet in front of them like, hey, Moana's on. Do you want to watch some Moana? Hey, how about you want to watch some Blippi or something like that? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Luckily, my kids aren't big tablet kids. They both have tablets, but they rarely ever use them. My kids would much rather just go outside and play and run and stuff like that. So I'm very fortunate about that. But yeah, so it's hard to take them to the academy because I feel like it's a time like my time to like clear my head and to kind of like de-stress. And I know that sounds kind of selfish to some of you out there, but as a parent, we all need that time. And if I take the kids there with me, sometimes it's really hard to decompress because I feel I'm focusing so much on them to make sure that they're not doing something crazy and not interfering with the class on my side or the CrossFit side, and that it's hard to get some good training in. So that's kind of like where I'm at with it now. I do take them with me sometimes, but I try to make it as little as possible, if possible, because it's just really hard to train and watch my kids at the same time. And some of you might think like, well, why don't you just tell them to sit down? Like, 'cause they're 3 and 2, like they just want to explore, have fun, and run. So but I've also been working out again more, started doing CrossFit more, started working out in my garage. And that, man, that has been so good lately. It's been nice to start lifting heavy weights again. It's been nice to test my strength. It's been nice to test my endurance and whatnot. And I can confirm if you do not use it, you lose it when it comes to your athletic or your gas tank in CrossFit, because it has been crushing me. Some of these workouts have been crushing me, but it's been a nice welcome back, a nice. I still got it. Some of my strength is still relatively there. My gas tank not there. Anything to do with abs, I've always sucked at, but that's that's been crushing me as well. And I feel better in my jujitsu too. I tell people that sometimes I don't. I even when I roll with people, I try not to use 100% of my strength, especially during just practice, because I don't want to like injure my training partners, and two, I'm worried about building bad habits if I use my strength on some things. It does feel good when I grab onto someone. I'm like, this is mine now. You're not getting this back until I tell you you can. That's fun. Like grabbing arm or grabbing a lapel or grabbing a sleeve or pants grip, and then just absolutely holding on to it until I let it go or I move it to where I want it to go is a fun thing to experience if you guys haven't. And it's been hard lately to train. It's been kind of a blue belt blues season, but not a blue belt blue season, because the biggest thing that I've realized as I've trained jujitsu now for I think 6 years, coming up on 6 years. Probably the hardest thing that I've realized after about 6 years of training is giving myself grace, and I talk about this quite a bit. And that's because I know I'm not going to be a world champ, and I know that I'm not doing this to make a livelihood out of it. I like doing it because I like making content for you guys. I like being able to experience new things, and I like being able to work out and show my kids that we can go through hard things together, And I've really learned to give myself much more grace if I miss a week, even 2 weeks, because of family or work or whatever. And so that's given me a lot of peace with not training as hard as I used to. Because sometimes, I still do kind of get in my own head when I see other people progressing and getting better, giving me a harder time that didn't used to give me that hard of a time. And I have to remember, if I'm not showing up when everyone else is, then yeah, they're obviously going to get better. If they're training more than me, putting more purpose into their journey, then yeah, they're going to get better than me. And I should be okay with that, because that my goal isn't to be the best jujitsu practitioner. My goal in life is to be the best father, husband, friend, and maybe podcaster. Or content creator in there, right? So the best ever jujitsu practitioner isn't exactly what I'm looking for. I just want to be as good as I can be with the time that I have and with the resources I have. And sometimes other people with more time, other people with more resources to train more are going to get better than me, and I have to be okay with that because that's just not my journey anymore. I'm not, I started in my mid-20s with, my wife and and I had a lot more free time, and now I don't, and I'm okay with that. So, how do you guys deal with those hard moments of when you're getting stuck in your journey or you haven't been able to train for a while because of jobs or family or whatever? How do you guys get past it? Like, what is your mindset in it? And when you come back to class, how do you approach class also? Because I know when I come back after a long break, one, I actually feel really good and I'm excited to get back. And then two, my body feels great. I'm like sitting there like, oh man, no aches and pains. Like right now from last night, my right hip kind of bothers me. And so I'm like sitting there like limping around. My wife's like, what's wrong? I was like, what's wrong is I try to fight people for fun. I try not to get choked to death for fun. And sometimes there's some injuries that come along with it. And so my right hip right now is bothering me. And this is my first like a bumper bruise since coming back to jiu-jitsu and being more readily steady with it. So we'll just see what happens. But let me know what you guys think down below. But yeah, that's pretty much my journey. 4-stripe blue belt now. Still training as much as I can. Working out, doing jiu-jitsu and CrossFit / working out at home. And it's been a good mix. Down a bunch of weight. Just living life. Just trying to be the best person I can be. Spiritually, faith, physically, relationally. But let me know what you guys think down below. Remember, go check out our sponsor, Salt Electrolytes. Go join the Facebook community. Go join the Discord community. They're amazing. The Facebook group is almost 100 people in it. Crazy. And so thank you guys so much for all the support. Thank you for understanding that, life gets in the way. And if I could be here more, I totally would. And yeah, we'll catch you later. Peace.